This is a video where I'm going to take you through the Maths Mock Paper 2 questions 1 to 11. Okay, let's go. Right, so 60 students in a college, 20 study both French and Spanish. So 20 is going there. And I think most people are getting this right actually. 15 students study French but not Spanish, so we can just shove that there straight away. A total of 43 students study Spanish. Well, that includes the 20 here, so that's going to be 23. And therefore we've got 20, 33, 43, 53, 56. And so I guess there's going to be 4 outside. Let's just check that. 43, 56, 60. Yep, looks good. I think all the information looks correct. 13 French but not Spanish. And so write down the probability that the student studies neither French nor Spanish. It's going to be 4 out of 60. Oh, 60. I don't know why I wrote 16. I'm going slightly mad. It's quite late. And so that's 1/15. Okay, next question 2. Now this was a bit more frustrating. Like the last question, I saw people basically doing it, almost completely correctly. In fact, I don't think I saw one person do it incorrectly. But this one, this is another kettle of fish. People always want to describe more than one transformation, but they always say a single transformation. So don't do 2 transformations. It's got to be done in one go. It's clearly as well being turned. Yeah, you can't get from there to there without a rotation happening. It's being turned 90 degrees. And so it's not a reflection. You can't do that with reflection. That's got to be a rotation. Now, figuring out the rotation, well, the center of rotation is the most difficult bit. I've got a feeling it's going to be here just because that would make a nice rotation of 90 degrees. You're allowed to use tracing paper, of course, and you can just draw it in and kind of like, by inspection, by trial and error really, get the center of rotation because you can actually turn it physically on the page. You can see though, this is an interesting vector relationship actually here, which tells you it's right if you're interested in vectors, and that would be that from any point to any other point. Let's take this vector here and its corresponding point when it's been turned round to there, so that vector there. Firstly, any vector you draw has got to be exactly the same angle, and we're looking at a 90-degree rotation here, and I think it's obvious that's a 90-degree rotation. By the way, it's from P onto Q, so that is anti-clockwise, which seems to be a revelation to a significant number of people in my class. sorry class, but it's anti-clockwise. That's, look at the clock. You get a clock in the exam. Hopefully it's not digital. It's anti-clockwise. But yeah, every single vector is going to have that. And actually, if you ever get a vector and you make a to b go into minus b a, that will always give you a perpendicular, like a relationship between the vectors. They're like perpendicular gradients because you've turned it upside down and made it negative. And so, look at this vector here. What is that? That is vector 5, 2. That has become, I bet, minus 2, 5. Let's have a look. Minus 2, 2 back, 5 up. Yes, it has. See? Anyway, so it's an anti-clockwise rotation of 90 degrees, and you must say the center as well. Center 0, minus 1, 0. Yeah, please do say all of those things. There's tons to write down for a rotation. It's annoying, but there's lots of information you have to include. Right, next question. This is about a swimming pool, hot days in a swimming pool, paddling pool, whatever. Gene's information for one of these days is an outlier. That's obviously this one. Give a possible reason for this. Well, maybe it was hot, but it was raining as well. Maybe it was hot, but it was a school day. Maybe it was hot, but it was just think of any like a sensible reason here, and I'll give you the mark. So I'm just going to say it was hot, but it was a school day, or some kind of a other holiday or reason why they're not going to have so many people there. Any sensible reason will do. Okay, right, next one. What type of correlation does it show? Well, it's quite clearly positive correlation. And what's more, you tend to always need to draw a line of best fit for these kinds of things. That was a terrible one. Don't draw your line like this in the exam. All right, I'll try and get a straight line drawer. Oh yeah, this always goes wrong. So I'm just going to, please don't do this in the exam. Get a ruler out. Get a ruler out. Don't be me. Don't do this. But do draw it on there, yeah, because you're going to use it in a second. Anyway, that's positive correlation. You need it for part C, though, that line, because it's a line of best fit. And a line of best fit, well, write down an estimate for the number of children going to the paddling school pool on the 11th day. So I'm getting slightly put off because somebody's trying to call me. Was there 11 children there that day? Is that what it said? On the 11th day. Oh, because it was 19 degrees Celsius. 11 is a distractor here, and it distracted me. Okay, 19 looks to be about 20, and so it's 20 children. That was done pretty well, though. 20 kids. Okay, it would not be sensible to use scatter graph going to the pattern pool on a day when the maximum temperature is 13. That's just because you could say 13 is likely to give a negative value. Extrapolation is the answer I prefer. You're extrapolating from the data range. Yeah, you're using extrapolation and assuming the trend will continue. But there's no guarantee the trend will continue. But yeah, if you said it could be negative, that would be fine as well. Apologies for my handwriting. I'm refusing to put the heater on in my shed, and for electricity price reasons, and yeah, I can't actually write neatly. Okay, there we go. Right, next one. This one was really frustrating for me. Good if you got it right, but clearly it put a lot of people off. Like stresses you out, something like this, and people start doing all sorts of crazy things. Okay, we know the perimeter. Yeah, first things first, let's figure out what these sides lengths are then, yeah? Perimeter is always like, now, I mean, can you imagine this side moving up here? Like, then it would just be like the same as a rectangle and that side moving over there. Like, the perimeter is going to be exactly the same as a rectangle where that side moves over there and that side moves up there. Now, we already know that this side is 6, and like, we've got 6 here, therefore, and 6 here. Yeah, start writing some sides on. That's the way to do it, isn't it? Bit by bit. And so we've got 6 and 6 there, which is 12. If we take that away from 28, we've got 16 left. And so we know these two sides, that bit and that bit, some people wrote down x. That's a sensible idea, sensible way of doing it. And then you've got this, which is obviously x plus 3, and you could solve that equation. I'm just going to think, well, that plus that is 16. So that plus that is 8, and that plus that is 8, and therefore that one must be 5. Okay, once we've got that, it's not that bad this year. We've got to work out the area of this. People did all sorts of crazy things. They were doing sines, causes. It was really kind of weird. But isn't it easiest to just go, okay, if we're going to work out the area of this, we can work out the area of this triangle. 4 times 8 halved is 16. We can work out the area of this triangle. 3 times 6 halved is 9. Yeah. Work out the area of the whole thing, of course, and then take those two white triangles away from the whole thing, and you'll have this weird shape left. Yeah, that's definitely the easiest way to do it. So the whole thing area, total area if you like, well, that's going to be 4 times 8, 32, plus, now we've done all of that now, 4 times 8. Now we just got this little bit here, 3 times 2, 6. So that's 38 meters. So the area of this is going to be 38 minus 16 minus 9, which is 38 minus 25, which I believe is 13 meters, meters squared. Meters squared. By the way, you do get a mark here, independent. It was worth 5 marks, this question, I believe, and you do get a mark independent just for putting down the unit. So don't forget the units. Question 5. 4x plus y is 10x. Right. A lot of people, once again, getting this wrong, and this is a question you don't want to get wrong. It's guaranteed to come up, basically. 4x plus y is 10. Let's just make the second one 4x minus 20y is times by 4, will you get 52? Okay, right, check these as well. If you're getting ugly answers, it's probably wrong what you've done. If you get 0.3 exactly or something like that, maybe it's okay, but check them. It's coming up early in the paper. Okay, we'll subtract these equations now. So we get y minus 20y, which is 21y. We get 10 minus 52, which is minus 42. So y is minus 2. And if y is minus 2, we can then deduce what x is by just plugging it in here. We're going to get 12 over there, and so x is 3. 3 and minus 2. Let's check it in a paranoid fashion. You should know if this is right or wrong in the exam. 12 minus 2, 12 minus 2, well, that's 10. I can't even check it. I'm going really wrong. Okay, what are we doing here? 12, just add -2, so that's just going to be add -2. That is 10. It works. And then down here, what have we got? 3 minus 5 times -2. Well, that's 3 plus 10. That is 13. It's working. Right, we've done it. We don't have to think about it anymore. Okay, complete the table values of y, a table of values for y, 3 over x. Okay, 3 divided by a half. How many halves fit in 3? 6. Do it on a calculator. It's a calculator paper. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. And 3 divided by 6 is 0.5. In fact, yeah, this question was done really well, to be honest. I'm not surprised. It's really not that bad. And so now we're just going to put the values in and draw the diagram. So what do we have? Like, we're doing like, yeah, so we're going to have 6 here. Then we're going to have like 3 divided by 1, that's 3. Came down like this, didn't it? 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So it's going to be there. I'm guessing there, what was that? 3 divided by 1/2, well, that is 2. So on and so forth, etc., etc., etc. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Something like that. 3 divided by 2.5, well, that's 5 over 6. 3 divided by 2.5, that's 6 over 5, so that's like 1.2. Anyway, it's dead easy then, and you just end up with a lovely curve, which obviously looks something like this, and you just see what I mean? My hands are really cold, and I'm just not using the graphics tablet very well. That's about as good as it's going to get. That's what it looks like. Please do it neat in the exam, not like me. Okay, right, this one, that's not too bad either. We've just got to basically do best buys, turn them all into pounds, dollars, or euros, whatever you fancy. I'll work with pounds, I guess. So £1 is $1.43. So, if we want to go from pounds to dollars, well, clearly going from here to here, you're dividing by 1.43. So that's telling me going from dollars to pounds, I need to divide by 1.43. So that's what I'm going to do. 134. Oh, wrong mode. 134.99. Sorry, I'm doing this live. Divided by 1.43, and we get £94.40 basically. And put the units on which you've just found. It makes it easier. How do we convert euros to pounds? Oh, well, what we've got to do here is we've got to go from there to there. You're timesing by 0. Oh, hang on. Yeah, and we're going from euros to pounds. Yeah. So times by 0.73. That's what I'm going to do there. And so 1399.99 times by 0.73. You get 102. Very pricey in Germany. Pound 20 or not? Sorry, 19. Yeah. And so where's it cheapest? USA. Yeah. I hope I've shown enough there. I tend to feel I'm a bit slapdash. Please show enough working. I know I'm just sketching it like I hope they understand, actually write down what you're typing into your calculator. I haven't here, but I hope you understand what I've done. I've just simply taken this. Yeah, I really should be showing good habits here. And 1399, I've divided that by, I've times that by 0.73 to get that answer. Yeah, so right equals 102.19, and I've divided the other one, 134.99 divided by 1.43. Yeah, equals 94. So now it's nice and clear, what I've actually done, I hope. Okay, cool. Next one, almost finished now. Why might your answer to part A not be the best? Well, this is silly, isn't it? It's saying basically, why didn't you buy it from the USA? Well, because I live in the UK. Yeah, so postage fees, or like I don't want to travel to the States to buy my stuff, or something fairly clear. But postage fees is a good reason, or cost of converting currency. That's another good one, etc. It's not free to change pounds to dollars. You have to pay a fee every time. There's always a fee. Remember that. Always. Okay, how are we going to convert AB to BC, in a nice clear ratio? Well, we need the same number on B, really, because B is involved in both. So let's times this one by 3. Let's times this one by 5. And now we can write it down. 24 to 15 to 20. So that one's quite nice. Same with 9. This was quite nice. It got a bit easier here. So times that by 10 4 times. Right. 36 is once. 360 is twice. 3 times 4 times. Cool. Okay, this one. Right. I'm just going to type it into my calculator. Isn't this a calculator paper? So 2.8 times 10 squared divided by, open bracket, 4.7 times 10 to the 5. Does my calculator give it in standard form? That's a bit annoying, it didn't. Right, correct to 3 significant figures. I'm actually just checking. No, right, yeah, I've actually keyed it in wrong into my calculator. It's easily done. Yeah, we'll do it. Because I looked at it and I thought that doesn't look like the right answer. And then I saw the minus on the screen. Did some of you get caught out by that in the exam? Right, I think it is 5.96 3/6 fig times 10 to the minus 8. Yeah, it's going to be a small number, isn't it? 'Cause 10 to the minus 2 divided by 10 to the 5. It's like a really tiny number divided by a really big number. But it almost feels like that's wrong, doesn't it? That's how I felt anyway. Make sure you round it to 3/6 fig. Okay, and next one. Okay, right. Proportion, yeah? All you got to do is that divided by that to see if these have something in common which you need to times by. Because if it's direct proportion, this should be a common number. So 400 divided by 5, well, that's 80, and 576 divided by 6, well, that's 96. So that's not right. Okay, let's try squaring the x's now and doing the division. 400 divided by 25, well, that's 16, and 576 divided by 36, well, that's 16. That tells me that it's this one. It must be proportional to x squared, because when you multiply x by, basically when you multiply x by 16, you multiply, to get from x to y, sorry, you multiply by 16. In fact, it's just told me the relationship, hasn't it? It's told me that the formula for y in terms of x is y equals 16 x squared. Because as long as I take x and square it and times it by 16, I get y. And so there we go. I feel like I haven't written enough down though. In the exam, obviously write down y equals kx squared, plug in one of the values, so 400 equals k times 25, work out k to be 16, and then write down the answer. But it was obvious from the way I did the question initially. Okay, right, 11. This is just trig. Tan x equals h over d. So tan x equals, well, h is 4d, so that's 4d over d. The d's obviously cancel, so you get tan x equals 4. And so x equals inverse tan of 4. Make sure you're in degrees. 75.96. I don't think they were restricting the accuracy on this question. Let me just check. Nothing down there. Oh no, it's just this last bit. This last bit made me laugh because how many people are like, right, you're reducing the angle, yeah? Now, how does this affect the height, yeah? Now, if you have a really tall ladder, the angle down here is big, yeah? Like 76. If you reduce the angle might be 75 now, and I'm massively exaggerating this, but can't you see that the height's going to get shorter? It's going to decrease. Yeah, h will decrease. The ladder's going to be shorter. And that's it, basically. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was useful. And remember, the mocks are there to, let you know what you can do and let you know what you can't do. Anything you can't do, just work on it. That's all you got to do. That's how you beat this exam. Bye-bye.